Prosperity comes through Revati. Revati means prosperity. A man married to a woman born in Revati Nakshatra is indeed a Lakshmi Kant. He loves his wife, and his wife is also no less than a Lakshmi. She is goddess. She is blessed with prosperity. She is Revati. Lakshmi Kant is an Indian term for a man who is married to a woman who is just like Lakshmi. She is beautiful, she is warm-hearted, she is honest and pious, she is not asking for more, she is content, and she is a great lover of Goddess Lakshmi. She worships Goddess Lakshmi with much love and faith. Such a woman is indeed a great blessing. Whosoever man she marries, such a man becomes Lakshmi Kant. You see, that is how Revati Nakshatra is. A man or a woman having maximum planets in Revati Nakshatra will never fall short of money. Such a man, such a woman is blessed by Goddess Lakshmi, by Revati. Prosperity is not about money. There are millions and millions of men and women around this world who have millions of dollars in their bank account, and yet they are poor. They die like a poor man, dissatisfied man, unhappy man. And then there are men and women who may not have millions of dollars in their bank account. They may not have a luxury car or a bungalow, and yet they are content. They are happy. You know why? Because they have love in their hearts. Those who are living a luxurious life and driving in luxury cars and flying in a private airplanes are found to be miserable, unhappy, simply because there is absolutely no love in their hearts. Most people are unhappy, and they are unhappy because there is no love in their hearts, says Jiddu Krishnamurti. So one thing is clear, that money has absolutely nothing to do with love. Else all money makers would have found happiness. But that is not the case. The truth is something else. The truth is that these millionaires and billionaires are the ones who are found to be in more miseries than a poor man. A poor man has absolutely no savings, no properties, no cars, and no wealth. He is just a hand-to-mouth person. Goes in the morning, works hard, collects his wages, and spends it on his daily needs. That's all. There is no worry, you see. But a rich merchant, a business tycoon, he has so much to worry about. His properties, his wealth, there is so much in the bank account, whether it is safe, whether it will remain safe, what will happen after me, who will be my successor. You see, so many worries, a mountain of worries. He takes pills to sleep, he takes pills to digest his food, he takes pills because he has many diseases. You see, and in the end, this so-called rich man dies in worries. Such a rich man dies like a beggar. He takes his last breath in a posh bungalow or in a 5-star hospital, and yet he dies like a beggar, utterly dissatisfied, utterly disappointed. The master says, emperors here die like beggars, and sometimes a beggar dies like an emperor. And then there are a few beggars who die like emperors. utterly satisfied, totally enlightened. They take their last breath in awareness. They die smiling. To them, death is just a part of the journey. And we have had such masters who died like an emperor: Jesus, Buddha, Mahavira, Baba Nanak, and many more, who had absolutely no bank balance, no Mercedes, and no BMW, and there had been no one as great as an emperor as these enlightened beings, the divine masters. My fellows, the whole point of sharing this is to make you aware that real richness has absolutely nothing to do with your bank balance. It has more to do with your inner balance, your inner growth, your state of awareness. Lakshmi is not about money and bank balance. Lakshmi is all about your inner balance, your inner growth, your self-awareness. A woman becomes a Lakshmi when she focuses on her inner growth, when she starts turning inwards. A man becomes a Narayan when he focuses on his inner growth, when he starts turning inwards, when he starts moving towards the beyond, the unseen. This seed of thought, Bij, is what Revati Nakshatra stands for. It brings a certain depth of understanding. And when Rahu is in such a high frequency nakshatra of the beyond, the native takes keen interest in spirituality, the cosmos, the beyond. The native at some stage of his life or her life self-realize the fact that to experience true love and lasting happiness, one has to learn the way of the Buddhas. One has to start living like the Buddhas. The master says, here emperors die like beggars. If you want to die like emperor, then learn to live like Buddha. The real emperor is the one who has conquered himself. He has become the Buddha. He has attained control over all his senses. A naked young woman may stand before him. She may try to seduce him through her appealing body, through her intoxicating dance, through her sexy moves. But such a man will simply giggle and say, "What are you doing? Wear something, else you will catch cold." And that's what happened when Amrapali, one of the most beautiful women, tried to attract and seduce a disciple of Gautam Buddha. She invited the disciple to stay with her. The disciple said, "I will ask my master." He asked Buddha, and Buddha said, "You can go and stay with her. After 4 months you can return." The other disciples became jealous because Amrapali was one of the most beautiful women of the town. Kings and wealthy men dreamed of her beauty and had become slaves of her beauty. The disciples went to Buddha and said, "Master, what are you doing? She will seduce him. She is the most beautiful woman of the town. How can he maintain his celibacy when such a beautiful, sexy woman is staying with him?" Buddha said, "You all don't think much. Let him go. He will be all right." The disciples goes and stays with Amrapali. Days pass, months pass by. The other disciples start gossiping. That man is gone. She must have seduced him. The whole town start gossiping. A monk staying with Amrapali, that to someone as beautiful as Amrapali. The disciples went to Buddha and said, "The whole town is gossiping. We are worried." Buddha said, "You should keep silent. 4 months will pass and I trust my disciple. I have looked into his eyes. There was no desire. If I had said no, he would have not felt anything. I said yes. He simply went. And I trust in my disciple, in his awareness, in his meditation. Buddha further said, "Why are you getting so worried? If my disciple's meditation is deep, then he will change Amrapali. And if his meditation is not deep, then Amrapali may change him. It is now a question between meditation and biological attraction. Just wait for a few months. I trust my young man. He has been doing perfectly well, and I have every certainty that he will come out of this fire test absolutely victorious." Nobody believed Gautam Buddha. His own disciples thought, "He is trusting too much. The man is too young. He is too fresh, and Amrapali is so beautiful. He is taking an unnecessary risk." But there was nothing else to do. They waited to see what happens. After 4 months, the young man came, touched Buddha's feet, and following him was Amrapali, dressed as a Buddhist nun. She touched Buddha's feet and she said, "I tried my best to seduce your disciple, but he seduced me. He convinced me by his presence and awareness that the real life is at your feet. I want to give all my possessions to the commune of your monks." And Amrapali offered all her properties and possessions at the feet of the master, Gautam Buddha. It is said that among thousands of Buddha's disciples, if there was anyone who attained the highest state of enlightenment, then that was Amrapali. A prostitute became the greatest spiritual being that the world had ever known. Always remember, a prostitute is not an evil person. She sells her body to earn her livelihood. But the other woman who steals your husband away from you is the real evil person. Mary Magdalene was also a prostitute, but her love for Jesus is beyond the power of words. She became one of the greatest lovers of Jesus, and Jesus showered his blessings on her. She was transformed into one of the greatest spiritual beings that the world had ever known. Jesus had 12 apostles or disciples, but Mary Magdalene is known in some Christian traditions as the apostle to the apostles. That is how the way of life is. It doesn't matter whether you are a thief or a prostitute or a gambler. If your heart is truly filled with love for the Master, then the Master helps you to come out of the dirt, and that is how divine intervention happens. Only when your longing, your thirst is so deep that the Master comes and saves you from drowning. Faith can move mountains. Rahu in Revati gives birth to a faithful man who continues to find the purpose of his life. He is not happy living a shallow life. He wants to explore the world that is beyond sex, beyond money, beyond power. His quest for the truth never ends. He continues to explore the truth, and because of his search for the truth, he goes on experimenting until he finds the answer to his questions. Bengaluru-based famous astrologer B.V. Raman had Rahu in Revati Nakshatra. He is the man who invented his own Ainamsha, famously known as Raman Ainamsha. You will be surprised that his quest for finding the essence of astrology was so much that he spent long hours in experimenting various techniques on hundreds of horoscopes. Deep interest in the metaphysics, spirituality, and constant quest to learn more is a trademark of Rahu in Revati Nakshatra, men and women. Whenever Rahu is in Ashlesha, Jyeshta, or in Revati, the native does exceptionally well in psychoanalysis. Such a person becomes one of the best psychiatrists. Carl Jung was one such psychiatrist. His work has been influential in the fields of psychiatry, anthropology, archaeology, literature, philosophy, and psychology. Religious study is one of the most favorite subject of Rahu in Revati Nakshatra natives. Carl Jung conducted a research on a joint vision of human psychology with Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis. Later in life, Carl Jung, through his work on himself and his patients, realized that life has a spiritual purpose beyond material goals. Based on his study of Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and other traditions, Jung believed that this journey of transformation, which he called individuation, is at the mystical heart of all religions. It is a journey to meet the self and at the same time to meet the divine. Rahu in Revati simply drives the native towards exploring the deeper, unseen, unknown aspects of human life. Such a Rahu helps the native to deal with his own darkness so that he can help others to deal with their darkness. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Rahu in Revati natives such as Carl Jung perfectly understands the science of chemistry when two like-minded people meet, interact, and collaborate. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. When two followers of heart come together and they meet by accident and their hearts melt, then the reaction has happened. They both are no more strangers. Love has happened. They have transformed into lovers. And the same when happens with evolved souls. When a man accidentally stumbles and comes face to face with a man of awareness, then the reaction happens. The man transforms into a disciple and the man of awareness becomes his master. Turning inwards, meditation, spiritual progress happens with ease when Rahu is in Revati Nakshatra. Always remember, you must go in quest of yourself, and you will find yourself again only in the simple and the forgotten things. Evolved souls with Rahu in Revati are much focused on expanding their level of awareness, consciousness. Enlightenment consists not merely in the seeing of the luminous shapes and visions, but in making the darkness visible. The latter procedure is more difficult and therefore unpopular. Rahu in the Revati native has the ability to understand the significance of emotional intelligence. In fact, Rahu in emotional zodiac signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces makes the person emotional fool. But Rahu in Ashlesha, Rahu in Jyeshta, and Rahu in Revati uplifts the emotional nature of the native by making them realize the significance of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others, and your ability to use this awareness to manage your behavior and relationships. Emotional intelligence allows us to respond instead of react. Always remember, when you react, you are giving away your power. When you respond, you are staying in control of yourself. Rahu in Mercury's nakshatra compels the person to think, and so such a person is not quick to judge. Thinking is difficult, that's why most people judge. In an evolved meditative individual having Revati Rahu, there is never a conflict between thinking and feeling. Where wisdom is seen, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. Such a native is very clear about his feelings. He will never say to a woman, I think I love you. If he is in love with a woman, then he will simply say, I love you. Love is first felt when someone starts caring for you. When someone doesn't bug you or compel you to call or to talk, but someone who understands your priorities, and this understanding is the way of caring. Mohan always had a girlfriend who used to always compel him to talk on phone for hours and hours. And our poor Mohan was so much pissed off by this girl that suddenly there was no shine on his face. He became pale. That girl was such a pain. But he was totally trapped in her. He was screaming day and out, God, get me out of the clutches of this girl. One day Mohan came to meet me. He looked different. He had lost his charm. The last time I had met him was some 6 months ago. And at that time he was such a happy lad, energetic bodybuilder, and now he looked the exact opposite, dull, frustrated. I asked Mohan what happened. Mohan said, I am in deep trouble. I asked, is it some girl? Mohan said, how you came to know? I said, that is not important, tell me what is the matter. Mohan said, I am badly caught. She is making my life a hell, making me run behind her, making me take her calls, and literally abusing me when I don't attend her calls. I know it is my fault. I know I should not have got caught in such a girl's trap. But now tell me what to do. I said, you have to do nothing. Bear her for a few months. After 4 months, you will be free. She will leave you. Mohan said, I will then come back to you after 4 months. Wish me luck. After 4 months, Mohan came back. This time he was smiling. He looked fresh. He looked the way he used to look, fresh and energetic. I said, so finally you have found your freedom. Mohan said, yes, you were right. She left me. I couldn't believe that this miracle would happen, but it has happened and I am thankful to you. I said, Mohan, next time if you fall in the same trap, then don't ever meet me. Committing a mistake is fine, but committing the same mistake again and again is stupidity. Mohan fell on the ground, bowed and said, I know what it feels to go through a hell of a time when you are trapped in a good-looking but a monstrous girlfriend. So never will I do this mistake again. Always remember, commit as many mistakes as possible, remembering only one thing: don't commit the same mistake again, and you will be growing. Love should be matured enough to understand. True love is born from understanding. Revati Rahu brings the sense of understanding. A girlfriend having Rahu in Revati is not a bad choice, and a boyfriend is also not a bad choice. Great healers, Reiki masters are born with Rahu in Revati Nakshatra, simply because these men and women have natural tendency towards healing, towards shamanism. Shamanism is a religious practice that involves a practitioner who is believed to interact with the spirit world through altered states of consciousness, such as trance. The goal of this is usually to direct these spirits or spiritual energies into the physical world for healing or some another positive purpose. Mysticism, spirituality always comes naturally to the natives having Rahu in Revati. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest scientists, a genius, had his Rahu in Revati Nakshatra. And probably after Albert Einstein, there has been no scientist other than Nikola Tesla who has openly expressed the significance of God consciousness. Nikola Tesla quotes, "The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being. And if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power." How deep are these words of Nikola Tesla? How to express the significance of these words? Only a meditative being can relate, can connect to these powerful words of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla has Rahu in Revati. So you see, Rahu in Jupiter's sign and Mercury's nakshatra can work wonders if other aspects are positive and supportive for the native's overall growth. The man who wrote the book Be Here Now, Baba Ramdas, whose birth name was Richard Alpert, and who later became the disciple of Neem Karoli Baba, also has a Rahu in Revati Nakshatra. A Harvard professor, Richard Alpert, came to know about Neem Karoli Baba, and his curiosity made him travel all the way to India, Vrindavan, where he met Neem Karoli Baba and became his disciple. Rahu in Revati often brings transformation. Richard Alpert, a Harvard professor, was transformed and became Baba Ramdas. Acting, poetry, drama comes naturally to these natives simply because Rahu is in a watery sign, emotionally rich, Pisces zodiac, and in the nakshatra of Mercury, Revati, which also signifies speech, vocabulary, imagination, dialogue delivery. One of the finest Hollywood actress, Meryl Streep, also has a Rahu in Revati Nakshatra. Rahu in Revati brings fame in art as soon as it gets the necessary support of Jupiter, Mercury, and a suitable Mahadasha. The wonderful legendary Canadian singer Celine Dion also has a Rahu in Revati Nakshatra. Celine Dion is noted for the song My Heart Will Go On, which also served as the main soundtrack to James Cameron's blockbuster film Titanic. Rahu in Revati can work wonders. When the nakshatra is positive, when the nakshatra has the power to bring prosperity, success, and when the planet is a friend, then the magic happens. Mercury, the lord of Revati Nakshatra, is not just a friend of Rahu, but a guru of Rahu. And so when the disciple, that is Rahu, is in the master's abode, that is in Mercury's nakshatra, then everything is going to be alright, as long as Mercury is well placed in the chart. The most difficult men and women are those who have retrograde Mercury in their chart. Whenever I interact with someone having retrograde Mercury, I generally avoid meeting that person again. They are a great pain to this human world. Retrograde Mercury is to some extent better only if Jupiter casts its 5th, 7th, or 9th aspect on it. If you have a boss whose Mercury is retrograde, you are in a great trouble. And if you have a subordinate whose Mercury is retrograde, then you are going to have trouble from such a fellow. In 90% cases, retrograde Mercury cases are difficult to handle. The remaining 10% slip out because of certain positive aspects from Jupiter, or sun. However, it should be noted that retrograde Mercury along with Rahu in Revati is indeed a very sensitive placement. In such a case, the positive results of Rahu in Revati are not seen. The power of Rahu in Revati is so much that along with great artists, thinkers, it also has given birth to the greatest dictator, Mao Zedong. Mao was the founding father of the People's Republic of China, which he ruled as the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party from its establishment in 1949 until his death in 1976. Mao had his Rahu in Revati Nakshatra in the 6th house of his horoscope. Rahu in the 6th house is a great placement to overcome your enemies and attain victory. Our first Prime Minister, Honorable Jawaharlal Nehru, also had a Rahu in the 6th house. Always remember, failure comes only when we forget our ideals and objectives and principles. Attraction towards foreign land, attraction towards foreigners comes naturally to Rahu in Revati natives. They are always interested in that which is not known, which is foreign in essence. The house matters ruled by Jupiter in your birth chart gets special boost when Rahu is in Revati Nakshatra. In Gemini ascendant chart, Jupiter rules 7th and 10th house. 7th house is not just about marriage or sexual union. 7th house is also about the society, your social connection. And so, this Rahu in Revati brings a boost in social status. Popularity is possible with Rahu in Revati. And 10th house Rahu anyhow makes you run and run and run until you attain your career goals. Boost in business or career is seen when Rahu is in the 10th house and Jupiter Mercury is well placed and not retrograde. Desires is what Rahu is, but the quality of desire is defined by the sign and nakshatra in which Rahu is placed. And so always remember, you can never drop your desires, but you can always raise the quality of your desires. Desire has not to be destroyed, it has to be purified. Desire has not to be dropped, it has to be transformed. Your very being is desire. To be against it is to be against yourself and against all. You cannot drop desire simply because you are born because of your desire. Rahu is the very root cause of your birth, and so the focus should be on raising the quality of your desire. The desire of having sex is natural. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. But with whom you want to have sex, when do you want to have sex, is what decides the quality of your desire of having sex. Sex with awareness raises the quality of desire of having sex. Sex with no awareness degrades the quality of desire of having sex. Nowadays, people just go to parties and they don't even think, but just jump in the bed with any woman or man after the party is over. And then when misery starts flowing in their life, they come and ask, what is wrong with my life? Nothing is wrong with your life. Only what is wrong is within you, your ignorance, your unawareness. The world is not a problem. The problem is your unawareness. It is only through awareness that you can deal with the uneasiness of the mind. Reminds me of a beautiful story, the story of Bodhidharma, the only man who was equivalent to Gautam Buddha. Bodhidharma was a Dravidian. He was born as a prince in the southern part of India. But like Gautam Buddha, he left his kingdom and attained the highest peak of enlightenment. He looked weird and his way was very rough. He was not at all soft like Gautam Buddha, and yet there was nobody who could be of his caliber other than Gautam Buddha himself. Bodhidharma speaks the essence of Buddha. He has his own style, his own way. Even Buddha will find it strange because Buddha was soft, Bodhidharma was hard. Bodhidharma is not polished like a diamond. He is just from the mind, absolutely raw. There have been many Buddhas in the world, but Bodhidharma stands out like Everest. Once Bodhidharma went to China, and the emperor of China went to see him. And the emperor said, "My mind is very uneasy, very disturbed, and you are a great sage. I have been waiting for you. Tell me what I should do to put my mind at peace." Bodhidharma said, "You don't do anything. First you bring your mind to me." The emperor could not follow what he said. "What do you mean?" he asked. Bodhidharma said to the emperor, "Come in the morning at 4 o'clock when nobody is there. Come alone and remember to bring your mind with you." The emperor couldn't sleep the whole night. Many times he cancelled the whole idea. This man seems to be mad. What does he mean? Come with your mind? Don't forget. The man was so enchanting, so charismatic that he couldn't cancel the appointment, as if a magnet was pulling him. And so at 4 o'clock in the morning he jumped out of his bed and said, "Whatsoever happens, I must go. This man may have something. His eyes say that he has something. Looks a little crazy, but still I must go and see what can happen." So he reached, and Bodhidharma was standing with a big stick in his hand. He said, "So you have come. Where is your mind? Have you brought it or not?" The emperor said, "You talk nonsense. When I am here, my mind is here, and it is not something which I can forget somewhere. It is in me." Bodhidharma said, "Okay, so the first thing is decided, that the mind is within you." The emperor said, "Okay, the mind is within me." Bodhidharma said, "Now close your eyes and find out where it is. And if you can find out where it is, immediately indicate to me. I will put it at peace." And so the emperor closed his eyes, tried and tried, looked and looked. The more he looked, the more he became aware that there is no mind. Mind is an activity. It is not something there so you can pinpoint it. But the moment he realized that it is not something, then the absurdity of his quest became exposed to himself. If it is not something, nothing can be done about it. If it is an activity, then don't do the activity. That's all. If it is like walking, don't walk. He opened his eyes. He bowed down to Bodhidharma and said, "There is no mind to be found." Bodhidharma said, "Then I have put it at peace. And whenever you feel that you are uneasy, just look within where that uneasiness is." Look within. The emperor went back happily. He specifically mentioned to his chief minister that when I die, please inscribe on my graveyard that I met a man who appeared weird and mad, but there was absolutely nobody as great as that man, as pure as that man, and as wise as that man, and his name was Bodhidharma. Everything is possible in this world, my fellows. What is necessary is to look within, What is necessary is to focus on your inner growth, and what is necessary is to live your life by surrendering at the feet of your master. But who wants to listen? And so the miseries, the unending cycle of birth and rebirth. So many times you have had sex, so many times you have all that you had wished for, and yet many births you attained, and then many births you lost. You see, this losing and gaining cycle continues. There is no end to this cycle until that day comes, until that moment comes when someone like Jesus comes and says, "Follow me," and you start following him. When someone like Buddha comes and says, "Listen, just listen to my words and stop agreeing and disagreeing," because only then the words will penetrate into your being, and only then the change can happen within you. The master comes, the master is always near you. Fools are those who seek master in physical form. Judas was close to Jesus, but what happened? Just by being in physical presence of the master won't change you. If that was true, then Judas would not have sold Jesus for a few silver coins. Then Judas would not have betrayed Jesus, but Judas betrayed Jesus. Being close to the master, being physically present in the presence of the master, has absolutely no relevance. The real disciple is that who never craves to see his guru in physical form, because he is perfectly aware that guru is beyond the physical form. He can be here and now. All you need is intense longing, love, thirst, and he comes, heals, and lives. You will not even come to know that is the true essence of a great master, my fellows. It is beyond the power of expression. Language has its own limitations. All you need is trust, faith, and love for the Lord, the Master. All that is needed is an atmosphere of absolute trust, and in that trust, things start happening on their own. Neither does the disciple do them, nor does the master. The disciple receives them, the master is the vehicle of the universal forces, just like a hollow bamboo that can become a flute. But the song is not of the hollow bamboo. The hollow bamboo can have the credit only of not destroying the song, of allowing it. The master is a medium of the universal consciousness. It is the master who chooses his disciple. It is God who chooses man. And once you are chosen, you will be tested, because only those are tested who are the future Buddhas. Remember, this world had many Buddhas, and this world will have many Buddhas in the future. Because Buddha is not a title. Buddha is a state of no mind. Buddha is a state of enlightenment. And so whoever attains the state becomes the Buddha. The first step towards Buddha is to start living your life with acceptance, total acceptance. Someday you all should read my book, Beauty of Acceptance, Tathat. A man who accepts all that life provides with a sense of gratitude becomes a Buddha. Life gives opportunity to everyone. It is your efforts, your persistence, and your unwavering faith that can lead you on the path, the Buddha path. Always remember, you cannot walk the path until you become the path itself. Love to all my listeners and followers. Stay blessed. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru.